There comes a moment in every person's journey when they finally realize that attention is not something given. It is something drawn out of people through presence, strategy, and psychological mastery. Machiavelli understood this better than most thinkers of his age. He believed that human behavior is not driven by love or kindness, but by desire, interest, and advantage. To make someone crave your attention, you first need to understand that wanting attention and commanding attention are not the same. Many people beg for recognition, and in doing so, they become invisible. But the individuals who understand how to withhold, how to disappear at the right moment, how to let silence speak on their behalf, those are the ones who create longing in the minds of others. Craving arises where access is limited, demand forms where supply is scarce, and respect grows where presence is felt but not forced. So the power begins not with what you give, but with what you carefully refrain from giving. In a world full of noise, distance becomes a form of communication, and scarcity becomes influence. Machiavelli taught that people are more loyal to their needs than to their emotions. If you want someone to crave your attention, you must become the answer to an internal need they can barely articulate. This is not manipulation. It is understanding human nature. People gravitate toward those who make them feel something unusual, stability in chaos, challenge in comfort, confidence in uncertainty. To create craving, you must calibrate your presence with precision. Be warm, but not available at every second. Be kind, but not predictable. Be expressive, but never reveal your full hand. Craving grows in the gap between what is known and what is unknown, between what is felt and what cannot be fully understood. Humans chase mystery because the mind hates unfinished stories. When you leave people with a question, they follow you for the answer. When you give them every answer too quickly, they walk away because the puzzle has already been solved. Machiavelli understood that power is never in overexposure. Power lies in controlled revelation, in the art of being partially seen. In Machiavelli's world, the powerful were not the ones who spoke the loudest, but the ones whose silence carried weight. To make someone crave your attention, cultivate a type of silence that is intentional, not distant, purposeful, not passive. When you are silent, people project their own thoughts, hopes, and insecurities onto you. They fill in the blanks with their imagination, and imagination is always more powerful than reality. When you respond slowly, people value your responses. When you speak rarely, people listen more closely. When you withdraw for a moment, they wonder why. Craving is built on contrast, the contrast between presence and absence. Constant presence is comforting but not compelling. Occasional presence is unforgettable. This is why even ancient rulers used absence as a strategic tool. They appeared before the people only at chosen moments, creating anticipation and reinforcing authority. Your modern version of this is simple. Don't make yourself too easy to reach. Don't broadcast your emotions every day. Don't give your energy to everyone freely. Instead, let people experience the echo of your absence so that your presence becomes a reward. There is a psychological principle Machiavelli instinctively understood. Humans value what they invest effort in. If someone doesn't have to work for your attention, they will never crave it. If your time, conversations, and energy flow without boundaries, they will be seen as ordinary. Craving requires resistance, not hostility, but healthy distance. When people feel they are earning something, it becomes meaningful. So create a subtle challenge, not a game, not manipulation, a challenge. Be selective about who you give your time to. Be intentional with your responses. show that you have a life, goals, responsibilities, and an internal world that does not revolve around anyone else. People crave what makes them feel elevated. They crave what makes them feel privileged. When you are someone of depth, of ambition, of standards, your attention becomes a doorway, not just to you, but to a higher version of themselves. Machiavelli would argue that your value is not in how much you give, but in how much you require someone to grow in order to stand close to you. One of Machiavelli's most important lessons is this: people desire what confirms their self-worth. If your attention makes them feel powerful, they will want it. But if your attention comes from insecurity or desperation, it diminishes both your value and their interest. To make someone crave your attention, you must first fortify your identity. Build a life where your presence enhances others. Not because you are trying to impress them, but because you are fulfilled, grounded, and confident without their validation. Craving grows when someone senses that you enhance the quality of their inner world. When you speak, they feel understood. When you listen, they feel valued. When you enter a space, they feel inspired. But this can only happen when your attention comes from abundance, not neediness. People crave what feels rare, meaningful, and self-affirming. They crave the attention of someone who does not need them but sees them. Machiavelli would tell you, the first step to making people crave your attention is becoming a person whose attention is worth craving. A core Machiavellian principle is the strategic use of unpredictability. Humans crave patterns, yet they are magnetized by the unexpected. To make your attention addictive, you must strike the perfect balance between consistency and unpredictability. Be consistent in your character, your morals, your vision, and your self-respect. But be unpredictable in your timing, your expressions, and your emotional depth. When people never fully know what version of your brilliance they will encounter, they stay engaged. Predictability makes people comfortable, but unpredictability makes them attentive. It activates their curiosity, their anticipation, and their long-term emotional investment. Imagine a flame that dances differently every time. People can stare at it for hours because the mind cannot fully predict its next movement. That is the psychology of craving. Machiavelli would tell you to never be boring, never be too familiar, never offer the same emotional pattern every day. Let your evolution become visible. Let your changes become a quiet mystery. Craving is born not from consistency alone, but from the dynamic tension between stability and surprise. Another Machiavellian insight is the importance of emotional contrast. People don't crave emotions that feel flat or monotonous. They crave emotions that move them. To make someone crave your attention, your presence must make them feel something they don't feel anywhere else. Maybe it's clarity. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's excitement. Maybe it's the rare sense of being truly seen. When your attention awakens a deeper part of them, they will chase that feeling, not you. This is the secret. People don't crave people. People crave the emotions people give them. Machiavelli understood that a leader's value wasn't in his title, but in the emotional impact he created. He inspired fear, respect, loyalty, or awe, not neutrality. So ask yourself, what emotional impact does your presence create? Do you inspire others to think differently? Do your words linger in their mind long after you leave? Does your energy shift the atmosphere of a room? If your presence changes the emotional temperature of someone's inner world, your attention becomes unforgettable and therefore craved. Machiavelli also believed that power is not taken, It is granted by those who perceive value in you. This means the key to making others crave your attention lies in building an aura that feels powerful, independent, and self-directed. Become someone who moves with purpose, not randomness. Speak with intention, not noise. Make decisions based on your principles, not pressure. When people sense that you are governed by your own inner authority, they instinctively respect you. And respect naturally evolves into interest, which then evolves into longing for connection. Your attention becomes a form of validation, not because you flatter people, but because being acknowledged by someone with self-respect feels meaningful. In a world where many people are lost, directionless, or overly reactive, someone who moves with clarity becomes magnetic. People crave the attention of those who seem to possess something they themselves are striving for. And Machiavelli would tell you this simple truth: the more self-ruled you are, the more people feel compelled to revolve, at least slightly, around you. Machiavelli understood that attention is a form of currency, and like all valuable currencies, it loses worth when oversupplied. If you want someone to crave your attention, you must master the art of timing. Too much too soon, and your presence becomes ordinary. Too little for too long, and they stop expecting you altogether. The secret lies in offering attention the way a skilled strategist offers opportunity. Rarely, but at the right moment, and always with intentionality. When someone feels your presence at a moment they genuinely need clarity, encouragement, or intellectual stimulation, your impact multiplies. They begin associating you with emotional elevation, psychological grounding, or mental insight. Over time, they lose interest in attention from others because it does not hit the same depth. This is what Machiavelli called building dependency, not through control, but through irreplaceability. You become the voice they look for in confusion, the calm they seek in chaos, the spark they crave in boredom. Craving is born when timing amplifies meaning. Not everyone should receive your attention, and not every moment deserves your presence. But when you choose your timing wisely, your attention becomes unforgettable. Another Machiavellian principle essential to understanding craving lies in the power of self-sufficiency. People crave the attention of those who don't seem to crave anything in return. When you appear emotionally independent, psychologically rich, and spiritually grounded, you exude an aura of inner abundance. This kind of abundance is rare, and rarity breeds desire. People watch you operate from a place of internal fullness, not seeking validation, not seeking approval, not seeking rescue, and it triggers a deep instinctual attraction. Humans are wired to be drawn towards sources of strength. If you want someone to crave your attention, you must show that your emotional world stands on its own foundation. You must feel whole even in solitude, confident even in silence, content even without external praise. Machiavelli would tell you, dependency repels power, but independence magnetizes it. When people sense that your attention is a gift rather than a plea, an offering rather than a request, they begin to pursue it. They begin to wonder how you can remain so balanced when they themselves rely on external stimulus. In this contrast, craving naturally forms. In the Machiavellian view, perception often matters more than reality. To make someone crave your attention, curate the image of a person who is deeply engaged in a life that does not revolve around being noticed. Show passion, show discipline, show momentum. When people see you actively building something, your skills, your mind, your body, your career, they subconsciously position you above the noise. You rise in their internal hierarchy, not because you try to, but because humans naturally crave the attention of those who are ascending. This is the psychology behind admiration, envy, and fascination. It is not the final result people crave. It is the upward trajectory. Machiavelli believed that people follow strength and direction, not stagnation. So the more you evolve, the more your attention feels like a window into a world of progress. Even your silence becomes more valuable because it comes from someone moving forward. Your presence becomes meaningful because it is shaped by growth. And in a world where many people remain stuck in repetitive cycles, someone who is rising becomes addictive to watch, addictive to study, and ultimately, addictive to receive attention from. Craving also grows through the subtle art of emotional contrast. Machiavelli understood that human emotions work in cycles. People appreciate warmth more after they have experienced distance, and they value connection more after moments of solitude. So choose your emotional expressions intentionally. Be warm at times, but not excessively affectionate. Be thoughtful, but not clingy. Be receptive, but never desperate. When you show genuine care in small, unexpected moments, it hits deeper than constant reassurance ever could. Why? Because humans register value through fluctuations, not constancy. A single sentence of sincerity can outweigh weeks of empty noise. A moment of softness can echo for days when it is not expected. This is not manipulation. It is psychological awareness. You are crafting experiences that carry meaning rather than routine. People begin to crave your warmth because they know it is true, not obligatory. They know it comes from intention, not need. Your emotional contrast becomes your signature rhythm. Gentle, unpredictable, unforgettable, and craving grows naturally in the spaces between your expressions. To make someone crave your attention, Machiavelli would advise you to become a master observer of human desires. People reveal what they want, not through their words, but through their reactions, their pauses, their frustrations, their enthusiasm, their curiosity. When you observe someone deeply, you begin to understand what they crave emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. Then, offer just enough of that need to spark desire, but never enough to satisfy it fully. If someone craves validation, give recognition only when it is earned. If someone craves intellectual stimulation, offer insight that challenges their assumptions. If someone craves emotional safety, provide reassurance, but maintain your independence. People crave what feels like a bridge to their inner longings. When your attention activates something dormant within them, they begin associating you, not only with companionship, but with transformation. This is why Machiavelli believed that influence is built not by meeting people where they are, but by elevating them beyond where they believe they can go. You become the spark they didn't know they needed, and in that spark, craving is born. A less discussed Machiavellian tactic, yet one of the most powerful, is the strategic use of absence during moments of emotional need. When you withhold your presence at a moment when someone expects it, not in cruelty, but in calm detachment, you create a psychological vacuum. Humans fear emotional voids. They hate unanswered questions, unresolved feelings, interrupted patterns. When you step back briefly, without drama or explanation, it forces someone to confront their own attachment to you. They replay conversations. They reinterpret your words. They imagine your intentions. This reflection amplifies their longing because the mind fixates on what it cannot control. Machiavelli knew that people fear losing what they value, and fear intensifies craving. So your absence becomes a mirror. It shows them that your presence has weight, that your silence has meaning, and that their emotional world shifts when you are not accessible. But this must be used with precision. Too much absence damages interest. Too little absence weakens attraction. The goal is not withdrawal, it is awakening. Humans naturally chase what feels slightly out of reach, and Machiavelli exploited this principle masterfully. To make someone crave your attention, you must create an aura of selective access. This does not mean becoming cold or arrogant. It means becoming intentional. When you value your time, others value it. When you protect your energy, others approach you with more respect. When you show that not everyone receives a seat at your table, those who do feel privileged. Machiavelli believed that exclusivity magnifies desire. Think of the most coveted opportunities, relationships, or experiences in life. They are rarely the ones available to everyone. They are the ones surrounded by difficulty, rarity, or high standards. You must embody this same principle. Be welcoming, but not universally accessible. Be kind, but not infinitely forgiving. Be present, but not constantly available. People crave what they fear losing. They cherish what they work to maintain, and they value what they feel chosen by. When your attention becomes selective, it becomes sacred. Machiavelli emphasized that true power lies not in dominating others, but in mastering yourself. Craving is not created by ego, manipulation, or games. It is created by unwavering internal strength. When someone sees that you cannot be easily shaken, provoked, or emotionally destabilized, you become a figure of psychological fascination. They crave your attention because it feels like a stabilizing force, a grounding presence, a reminder that calm authority still exists in a chaotic world. Your internal strength becomes a type of emotional gravity. People feel pulled toward you without understanding why. They seek your validation because it feels earned. They seek your approval because it feels meaningful. They seek your presence because it feels safe. Machiavelli would remind you that power does not require aggression, only consistency, discipline, and self-command. When you embody these traits, others crave your attention, not because you demand it, but because your presence awakens something deeper within them. You become a source of order in their inner turmoil, and no one forgets the person who brings them back to themselves. Machiavelli believed that influence is built not just through presence, but through emotional resonance, the subtle, almost invisible ability to occupy space in someone's mind long after the conversation ends. To make someone crave your attention, your words must carry the weight of truth, observation, and insight. Speak rarely, but when you do speak, say things that reveal deeper layers of wisdom. Offer perspectives that shift the way they see themselves or the world. People crave the presence of those who help them think, feel, or understand more clearly. Most voices in the world speak to the surface. Very few speak to the depths. If your words can pierce deeper than ordinary conversation, you create emotional imprinting, a psychological phenomenon where someone returns mentally to your presence even when you are not there. And the more they revisit you in their thoughts, the more they crave your attention in reality. Machiavelli understood that a mind touched by depth becomes loyal to depth. You are not competing with people. They forget faces quickly. You are competing with thoughts. They remember impact forever. Make your presence something the mind can't easily walk away from. Another strategy Machiavelli emphasized was the importance of controlled vulnerability. This does not mean oversharing or exposing your emotional wounds recklessly. Instead, It means revealing small, carefully chosen fragments of your inner world, enough to make people feel invited into a private dimension of your being, but not enough for them to fully understand you. This partial exposure creates a powerful psychological effect: curiosity. People are drawn to what they do not fully know, and curiosity is one of the strongest drivers of craving. When you share a quiet moment of honesty, a personal belief, a rare emotional nuance, a glimpse of your values, it makes the connection feel intimate. But when you stop there, when you withhold the full story, the mind begins to chase. It imagines the rest. It wonders. It builds narratives. This is how attachment forms, not through complete knowing, but through the desire to understand what remains unseen. Machiavelli understood that too much vulnerability destroys power, but controlled vulnerability builds emotional gravity. Give them just enough truth to feel close to you, and just enough mystery to keep them coming back. Craving also grows from admiration, and admiration grows from discipline. Machiavelli knew that self-mastery is magnetic because it is rare. When someone sees you consistently improve, consistently honor your goals, consistently keep your promises to yourself, they begin to elevate you in their internal hierarchy. They crave your attention not because you flatter them, but because your life inspires them. People want to be near those who embody what they themselves struggle to become. Discipline reflects inner authority. It shows that your life is directed by intention rather than impulse, vision rather than chaos. This creates both respect and fascination. When you say you're going to do something and you actually do it, your presence begins to carry a kind of unquestionable credibility. And credibility itself is addictive. People trust your energy, your words, your decisions. They crave the presence of someone whose internal world is well governed, because it helps steady their own. Machiavelli would tell you that the greatest influence is not created through charisma alone, but through the consistency of character. When you live in alignment, your attention becomes a mark of honor. One of the most subtle ways to make someone crave your attention is through what Machiavelli would call psychological redirection. This means guiding someone's focus toward their own potential rather than toward your approval. When you speak to people in a way that brings out their strength, they begin associating you with their best self. If every interaction with you makes someone feel clearer, stronger, or more capable, you become a catalyst in their personal evolution. And humans always return to the source of their transformation. This is not flattery, it is awakening. Ask meaningful questions. Notice the talents others overlook. Point out the qualities they fail to see in themselves. Offer truths that help them step into their own power. When someone grows in your presence, they begin to crave that environment. It becomes nourishment. It becomes clarity. It becomes empowerment. Machiavelli understood that people naturally follow those who elevate them, not through praise, but through insight. So let your influence be the spark that strengthens others, and they will seek your attention not out of dependence, but out of inner expansion. Machiavelli also knew that people crave what feels emotionally safe yet intellectually stimulating. This combination is rare. If you want someone to crave your attention, you must embody a balance of calm energy and sharp thinking. Be the person who listens without judgment, but speaks with conviction. Offer empathy without weakness. Offer strength without rigidity. When someone feels both understood and challenged by you, they experience a dual emotional pull, comfort and excitement. This creates a unique attachment because most people provide one but not the other. Some offer comfort but lack depth. Others offer intelligence but lack emotional presence. Very few offer both. And when you do, your attention becomes a rare emotional environment people don't want to leave. Machiavelli believed that the strongest leaders were those who could balance firmness with warmth, dominance with compassion, authority with humanity. If you embody these dualities, people will crave the sense of equilibrium your presence brings. You become the rare place where someone can rest and grow at the same time. Identity plays a major role in craving, and Machiavelli understood that people desire those who hold a strong, defined sense of self. To make someone crave your attention, be unapologetically rooted in who you are. Do not reshape yourself to fit their preferences. Do not dilute your uniqueness to gain approval. When you stand firmly in your authenticity, people feel the gravitational pull of your self-belief. They crave the clarity of someone who does not bend easily. And ironically, the more you remain authentically yourself, the more others adapt themselves to be closer to you. This is a core psychological truth. People crave stability, especially in individuals. When your identity is solid, your values, your voice, your direction, your attention becomes meaningful, because it comes from a place of decision, not desperation. You choose them, not out of emptiness, but out of alignment. And choice from strength always feels more valuable than choice from need. Machiavelli would tell you that authenticity is a form of power. It cannot be copied, and therefore it cannot be competed with. You become unforgettable simply by being real. A final Machiavellian technique for making someone crave your attention is the art of graceful detachment. This does not mean withdrawing affection or becoming distant out of spite. It means holding a quiet confidence that your value does not diminish when you walk away. Most people cling when they fear loss, and in clinging, they crumble. But when you show that you can step back without losing your center, without losing your emotional equilibrium, you create a powerful shift in the dynamic. People sense that you are not driven by fear. You are driven by purpose. Your absence does not scream for attention. It simply reveals who truly desires to keep you close. And those who do will move towards you with intention, not convenience. Machiavelli believed that detachment exposes genuine loyalty. When someone feels that you will not chase, will not beg, will not force connection, they begin to question their own attachment. They realize that your presence is not guaranteed. The fear of losing someone rare is the deepest root of craving. In the end, Machiavelli would remind you that making someone crave your attention is not a game of manipulation, but a discipline of self-mastery. It is the art of becoming a person whose presence enriches others, whose silence teaches, whose words linger, and whose energy elevates. Craving arises naturally when you embody depth, self-respect, independence, and emotional intelligence. When you become someone who stands firmly in your worth, people feel magnetized toward your orbit because it offers something their inner world lacks. Your attention becomes a privilege, your presence becomes a sanctuary, and your absence becomes a lesson. This is not about controlling others. It is about mastering yourself so thoroughly that others cannot help but gravitate toward you. Machiavelli understood that power is not in forcing desire, but in cultivating the qualities that make desire inevitable. When you refine your mind, guard your energy, elevate your life, and move with quiet confidence, you transform from someone who seeks attention into someone who naturally commands it. And the world always craves what it cannot easily possess. This is the Golden Circle Philosophy channel. Like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you for watching.